Hello, today I want to share some information with you how to save money in Sweden, especially this information will be useful for budget travelers. It's not a secret that this Scandinavian country has one of the highest standards of living in the world, but the cost of living here, as well as prices, are among the highest. But you can save some money if you prepare for your journey in advance and know some of the features. Unlike most countries, prices in Sweden do not depend on the season. Therefore, it is not very important whether you are traveling in summer or winter. However, prices depend on Swedish national holidays, school holidays, or just weekends. In such days, prices can be very high. Well, if you are planning to spend time in Sweden during Christmas, New Year, or in midsummer, the day in the middle of the summer, which falls on the first Saturday in the 20th of June, then you will not be able to walk in museums, restaurants, or shops. These days, the Swedes spend at home with the family. Well, prices are high a few days before these holidays, so you should pay attention to it. And if you are going to move around the city, then the most accessible transport in Sweden is a bicycle. In addition, this is the favorite vehicle of the Swedes, who are very fond of a healthy lifestyle. Perhaps this transport has received such distribution in Sweden. All infrastructure is well prepared and adapted for this type of transport. Bicycle paths and special parking spaces. By bike you can drive everywhere and very quickly. Fortunately, Swedish cities are not very big, and of course, in large cities, bicycle rental is well developed. For example, in Stockholm there is city bike rental. City bikes. You can purchase a card for 3 days or for the whole season. That is, from the 1st of April to the 31st of October. You buy the card and quietly move between the sites and explore the city. Well, if you are an avid cycling amateur, then the bike is worth changing every 3 hours. This is a limit on one trip. You pass the old bike and take a new one and drive on further. Each city has its own rules for using rental. Well, if you are not a fan of bike walks and bicycles in general, then you should use transport cards. They can be for a few days or for several trips. It can help you to save a lot of money, especially if you are going to travel a lot around the city. Well, for people under the age of 26, students with an internationally certified certificate, or people over 65 years old, all public transport has discounts, and not only for city but also for country trips. Hot deals are also provided for these groups of people, especially for them. 24 hours before the train departs, tickets are available for sale at discounted prices, but in general, tickets for airplanes and trains, in Sweden it is worth buying in advance. Here the cost of the trip depends on the date of purchase. The closer the trip, the more expensive the ticket. Well, how to save on accommodation? Sweden is considered one of the most expensive places in the world. For a budget traveler, you should look at hostels. They are quite decent here and will provide you with everything you need. Online breakfasts and so on. They are not much different from hotels, but the prices at the hotel will be much more expensive, although here sometimes can be interesting offers. And of course, as well as all over the world, the cheapest options are located in a distance from tourist routes, on the outskirts of cities. But if we want to save money, then it's the best choice for you. Sometimes renting an apartment can also save a budget. Rent an apartment is a little more expensive than a hostel, but if you are traveling with a company, then this would be a great option. For people who like having a rest in the countryside, camping is very developed here, so if you like tents you are welcome. And besides, there is very beautiful nature here, so you can not only save money, but also get aesthetic pleasure. By the way, you have the right to put a tent in Sweden almost anywhere. You can also go hiking and enjoy the gifts of nature anywhere, including national parks, and even in private territory. Well, how to save on food? Naturally, the first choice of a budget tourist will be a supermarket. But in Sweden, prices even in the supermarket can be high. However, there are networks where prices are much lower than the average in Sweden. True, most of them are on the outskirts of the city. So planning your place of residence, it is also worth paying attention to, although if you search, you can find available stores in Enter. For example, Lidl, of course, like the rest of the world, the cheapest places here are fast food. Swedes love fast food very much, therefore, fast food is very common here. There are many shops in Sweden where you can buy old or used things in very good condition for a nominal fee, including cafes and second-hand. In them you will find both things in perfect condition at low prices and vintage. That's all for today. Bye-bye.